It is a beautiful day here in Daytona Beach, Florida, as we get set to open up a brand new season for the NASCAR XFINITY Series. It is the PowerShares QQQ 300 from the Daytona International Speedway. I'm Rick Burton in the broadcast booth. Happy to have you along with us as we get set to deliver 36 laps of racing around this 2.5-mile super speedway. It is the season premiere, race number 1 of the 2019 NASCAR XFINITY Series season. This is the 55th time the NASCAR XFINITY Series will compete here at the World Center of Racing, and in the prior 54 races, we've seen 29 different winners. And when we look across the 40-car field on pit lane, 6 of our contenders have been to victory lane at this historic track. Because of the drive to Daytona, the drive that becomes a big equalizer for every team, this really becomes an opportunity race where anybody can win this race at the end of the afternoon. It's been a long off-season with many changes, including driver changes, sponsor changes, a complete revamped schedule, and a newly structured point system for 2019. For the first time since this elimination knockout playoff format was created back in 2016, the 2019 playoffs will consist of 16 drivers, which will now include a 10-race playoff after the previous 7 playoffs with 12 drivers. That's been used for the past 3 years. Now, that makes this race even more important for some of these smaller teams to make something happen here at Daytona. One of the early championship favorites being looked at already is Ross Chastain. Chastain moving over to Chip Ganassi Racing for the entire 2019 schedule, certainly giving Chastain the opportunity of a lifetime. His first big break in the sport. It'll start 18th this afternoon. Another driver to look out for today is Kyle Benjamin. Benjamin rolling out from the 17th position, ironically beside Chastain. Benjamin is a 20-year-old from Easley, South Carolina, and after a short stint of races in the past couple of years, Benjamin will make his Daytona debut this afternoon in the number 18 for Joe Gibbs Racing. He is expected to run up to 10 races this season. Ryan Reed should also be looked at as a threat when it comes to Daytona and Talladega. Both of his pair of victories came here at Daytona back in 2015 and 2017. This afternoon will be a little bit different for Ryan Reed as he was let go from Roush Fenway Racing at the end of 2018 and has now picked up a ride with Matt Colleague and Colleague Racing. Reed will be running a limited schedule with the organization in 2019 and will start on the outside of row number 4. Tyler Reddick is coming off the biggest accomplishment of his life, winning the 2018 NASCAR XFINITY Series championship, but a championship doesn't always guarantee your ride the following season. After his title at Junior Motorsports in 2018, Tyler Reddick will have a new home in 2019, and the home is with Richard Childress Racing. Reddick will start second in his number 21 Smoky Mountain Chevrolet. But all eyes will be on Cole Custer, fresh off coming a runner-up finish in the season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway back in November. And in his 3rd season with Stewart-Haas Racing, Custer will lead the field of green with the 7th career pole award. Those are all of the pre-race storylines that we will cover throughout the day, plus more, and we will now send you down trackside for the opening ceremonies.
Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks.
Drivers, start your engines!
We're back live at Daytona getting set for the green flag in the 2019 season for the NASCAR XFINITY Series. 40 cars on track to start this race from Daytona. Down below your starting grid will appear, giving you a chance to see where your favorite drivers will start this afternoon. Cole Custer and Tyler Reddick are front row. Austin Dillon and John Hunter Nemechek making up row number 2 with Joey Logano rounding out your top 5. This is a 36-lap race here at Daytona, and we're going to take a look at the stage format for today's race. Stage number 1 will be 9 laps, with stage number 2 also being 9 laps, and then the final stage will be 18 laps, which will give us a total of 36 laps of racing here this afternoon. We get a little bit deeper in the field. We have Justin Haley with a new home at Colleague Racing. Austin Cindric running full-time with Team Penske. There's Ryan Reed. We talked about him in the pre-race show. He'll be 8th on the grid with Chase Briscoe and Brandon Jones making up the top 10. So the drivers who failed to qualify, one of them was Spencer Boyd. He failed to qualify for the Daytona 500 a couple of nights ago. Tommy Joe Martins also missed the race. Pace car about to hit pit lane. Stage number 1 about to get underway. The 2019 season sees the green flag ahead, and coming down the line, we are underway from Daytona. Cole Custer and Tyler Reddick are front row. We are racing here in Daytona. And it's a dead heat going down into turn number 1. Tyler Reddick on the outside. Cole Custer on the bottom with Austin Dillon pushing him. Behind Reddick is a couple of rookies with John Hunter Nemechek and Justin Haley. But then behind Custer, you have a couple of Cup superstars of Austin Dillon and the defending Cup Series champion, Joey Logano. Still double wide throughout the entire front half of the field. And then you get a little bit 3 wide back here. That was Chase Elliott in the middle, Austin Hill on the bottom. Going around a 39 of Ryan Sieg, but they come off turn number 4, and they are still side by side for the lead. Give it to the 21 of Tyler Reddick. Leading lap number 1 here in Daytona. With a little bit of contact between Custer and Tyler Reddick, trying to side drive going into turn number 1. Luckily they were able to keep it straight, but that could have been a little bit of a costly mistake for both parties involved. And now you see Austin Dillon making it 3 wide down the back straightaway. That's going to put Cole Custer in the middle. Reddick clears all 3 lanes to try back to the lead, but now it's Austin Dillon and Cole Custer side by side for second. And what that did was completely shove John Hunter Nemechek to that 3rd lane at the top of the track. And Nemechek's going to lose quite a amount of spots here with no help. All he has is Ryan Reed, but he's not close enough to really give the 23 any momentum. And we have a couple of cars off the track. That was Tyler Reddick and his teammate Austin Dillon. Can Dillon work his way back onto the track? He does, but big scare down here in turn number 1 involving a couple of the RCR teammates. And all that did was give Cole Custer the race lead. Cole Custer, Joey Logano now trying to move up into 2nd place. Help from Ty Majeski in the 60. You have Reddick and Nemechek. You have Haley and Brandon Jones up top. They're 3 wide outside the top 10. Ross Chastain, we talked about him in the pre-race show. He's coming up through the middle, help from Kyle Benjamin in that number 18 car. We'll try to get a replay of what happened between Austin Dillon and the 21 of Tyler Reddick in a couple of moments. But whatever happened certainly hurt the 21 and the 3, as we have a race for the lead now. Joey Logano to the inside of Cole Custer. Logano has Ty Majeski on his bumper. Majeski will be running quite a few races in that 60 car throughout the year. Try to put a full-time deal together, but doesn't look like it will be a full-time deal. It'll be more of a part-time deal. Ty Majeski in the 60. We still have a pretty large pack. I mean, all throughout the entire field is in this lead pack, with the exception of the 78 of Benny Miller. Benny Miller currently in last place, and he's already lost the draft. But luckily, we only have about 5 more laps in this stage until we will get a yellow. Logano having to block both lanes down the backstretch. Here comes Majeski with a nice run on in the turn number 3. Cole Custer up top with Tyler Reddick, trying to make that 3rd lane work at the top of the track. There's Ryan Reed in the middle. Here comes Majeski to get in front of Ryan Reed. That opens up the door for Logano's teammate, Austin Cindric. Out of the inside in that 12 car. It is a hot, a little bit of contact back here. There they go. Up in the outside wall goes John Hunter Nemechek. Eric Almirola is collected involved. And they're still wrecking back here. Morgan Shepherd and Josh Balicki in the 45. Benny Miller gets involved just a little bit. And there's the 51. Jeremy Clements from Spartanburg, South Carolina, involved. Heavy damage on the 51 of Jeremy Clements. Here's Morgan Shepherd, the 66 of Timmy Hill, also involved. Timmy will be racing in the Daytona 500 tomorrow for Starcom Racing. Here's Almirola. See a little bit of damage on the front end of his Smithfield Mustang. And there's John Hunter Nemechek, qualified 4th for today's race, and you see he's already been teleported to pit lane, and it looks like his day at Daytona is over here towards the end of stage number 1. Now this caution came out with about 3 to 4 laps to go, and we've already been given word that we will not go back green here in stage number 1. That means the 22 of Joey Logano will win stage number 1 with Austin Cindric. Zane Smith able to get through that mess. He's going to be 3rd with his new gig at RCR. Kyle Benjamin and Ty Majeski, your top 5. Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Reed, Noah Gregson, and Justin Allgaier will be the 10 drivers who will score points here in stage number 1. Let's go back and get a replay of the first crash of the day. Okay, so we have the replay, and we're going to take a look from the helicopter view to give us a better insight on how this came about. And we're going to run along with the 23 of John Hunter Nemechek. He's running around just outside the top 15, and he's side by side with Brandon Brown. Looks like he's going to turn Brandon Brown up into Austin Dillon. Nemechek slides up into Brandon Jones. They all save it except John Hunter, who slides back down into Eric Almirola. And it is on from here. Almirola hits the wall but drives away, but Jeremy Clements, nowhere to go in the 51. Here comes Timmy Hill and Morgan Shepherd. The 23 gets hit again. About 3 big hits by the 23 of John Hunter Nemechek as he spins around. There's the 45 of Josh Balicki. Also getting into the 89 of Morgan Shepherd. Go back and take another look at the replay. And John Hunter was, like we say, running around the 15th position at the time on the inside, really actually in the middle lane. There he is. Looks like he just hooked Brandon Brown, which, got John Hunter sideways. Could have been okay had Eric Almirola not been where he was. And there's Clements. Hits by Timmy Hill and Morgan Shepherd, and Josh Balicki also runs into the 89 of Morgan Shepherd as well. And Benny Miller in that 78, he's probably very fortunate that he was far enough back to where he can avoid this, the 89 and the 45, which he did not avoid the 45. He ran right in the rear end of Josh Balicki, but shouldn't be severe damage for Benny Miller. And all that was going on, Joey Logano was able to hold on as his teammate Austin Cindric had gotten alongside him coming off turn number 4. But it was the 22 at the line first, giving Joey Logano the first stage win of the year. But Logano not running for Cup Series points, so that really does nothing for the 22 team of Logano. As the drivers will get a couple of caution laps in, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we'll have stage number 2 ready to go here in Daytona. Ready to go here in stage number 2. Be another 9 laps of racing. Joey Logano and teammate Austin Cindric make up the front row here. On this restart, Zane Smith taking over the driving duties of the number 2 car, placing Matt Tiff behind the wheel. Currently 3rd on the restart with Kyle Benjamin 4th, and Ty Majeski runs out your top 5. We already went through the top 10, but look back a little back outside the top 10. We have Cole Custer and Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Justin Haley, and Tyler Reddick. That is your top 15 for the restart. We can tell you that after the crash, Morgan Shepherd, Timmy Hill, Jeremy Clements, John Hunter Nemechek, and the 45 of Josh Bilicki have all retired from the race, leaving us now with 35 cars on track. Kind of surprised Bilicki dropped out because we didn't really see him get a lot of heavy front-end damage on that 45 car, but it's be possibly a radiator issue on the 45 of Bilicki. But we're back underway from Daytona. Logano leads us down the back straightaway with help from his teammate Austin Cindric. Here comes Zane Smith leading the inside line charge. Help from Tom Majeski in that 60 car. 3 wide already. That's Cole Custer on the bottom with Tyler Reddick behind him. Chastain in the middle with Austin Dillon. There's the 86 of Brandon Brown and the 01 of Blake Cook. Blake Cook in a one-off race with Johnny Davis's team. Stephen Light will be moving into the 01 car beginning next weekend at Atlanta. I'm sorry, Las Vegas. As Cindric getting a nice run on the outside. Help from Benjamin. He's going to get alongside that 22 down the back stretch. We've not seen Austin Cindric lead yet today, but he's ready to go out front. And he's going to clear Logano getting into turn 3. Or it nearly does, but he stays up top to help the 18 of Benjamin, who pushed him to where he is right now. He doesn't really want to drop down and leave him, even though they are not teammates, and not even manufacturer teammates. But Cindric will lead at the line. A little bit further back, you see that 98 of Eric Almirola. We saw him get involved in that crash with John Hunter Nemechek. Got some pretty good contact, pretty good damage on the right side of that Smithfield Mustang. Benny Miller back here in the 78. Still having trouble hanging on to the lead draft. But Cindric still leading the charge here at Daytona. There's Benjamin now. Oh, a little bit sidetracked. I almost could have went ugly there for Benjamin and Logano. It is a very beautiful day here at Daytona. It is a hot, slippery day. Sun is about 90. Track temperature is about 95 degrees right now, and it's very hot, very slippery, and it makes it very difficult for these drivers to be doing what they're doing at the speeds they are currently running. And these are really the same temperatures we're going to have tomorrow in the Daytona 500 as well when you think about it. So really what Joe Logano is experiencing right now, Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola, Chase Elliott is really going to, I think, maybe benefit them a little bit on what to expect in tomorrow's Daytona 500. The Daytona 500 will be tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time here on March 531. Kevin Harvick is on the pole. William Byron on the outside of the front row for the 61st running of the Great American Race. Joe Logano has one win at Daytona in the Xfinity Series, but it came back from the July race back in 2011 when he was driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. He has yet to go to victory lane here in Daytona in February the February race in a Xfinity car, as Briscoe makes it 3 wide and Elliott's going to make it 4 wide back here outside the top 10. It's Austin Dillon at the track, Chase Elliott in the middle. There's going to be a little bit of contact back here. But Dillon, he's going to lose quite a amount. There they go. Up in the outside wall, Chastain's around. Michael Annette's around. Justin Haley is tumbling down the track. Ryan Reed's collected. Eric Almirola involved once again in the 98. And they're still racing at the front. The caution is out. They are racing back to the line. And we are once again late in the stage. So this right here is going to be the win for stage number 2. Logano and Cindric. But a lot of good cars taken out here. There's Chastain, David Starr, Josh Williams. But here is the finish for stage number 2, and it will be the number 12, Austin Cindric, winning stage number 2 here in Daytona. There's the 42 Ross Chastain. Heavy smoke coming out the rear end of that DC Solar Chevrolet. Canadian Alex Labay looks to be done for the afternoon. The number 8 of Stephen Light. Slow getting into the pit lane. There's Almirola, Justin Haley. We saw Haley upside down. Ryan Reed in the 10 car. His third win at Daytona will not come this afternoon. And there's the number 90 of Josh Williams, David Starr. Heavy damage on the number 5 of Mike. Oh, Austin Wayne Self just ran in the back of the 38 of Yaley. Well, heavy damage for the number 5 of Michael Annette, J.J. Yaley, Austin Dillon, Joey Gase, Chad Fincham. There's Chase Elliott. There's Ryan Sieg, Officer Dance. And look at the hood on the 40 car, the 35, the 30, the 38. A lot of these guys, I think, may have crashed or ran in the back of another car under caution. But the caution is out once again, and that will complete stage number 2. And Austin Cindric will be the jobber, scoring a playoff point here in this stage. So let's go back and take a look at the replay of the second caution of the day. Now, we saw these guys 4 wide coming off turn number 4, and we saw Austin Dillon dropping back on the outside, but they quickly were able to form into 3 wide, and I believe that, I thought they were going to be okay, but that is not the case here on the front stretch. Ryan Reed, Michael Annette going to get together, and really the same thing with John Hunter Nemechek. There's Chastain and Blake Cook and Elliott, victims of this crash, and there's really nowhere to go at this point. There's Haley going upside down, David Starr spinning in the grass, Joey Gase, Chad Fincham, and Haley tumbles it. Oh, Ryan Reed got clobbered by the 98 of Almirola. Both of the Colleague Racing Chevrolet cars involved. It's really the same story, the same thing we saw with John Hunter and Brandon Brown in stage number 1, except this time it's Ryan Reed and Michael Annette, Chastain, Cook, and Elliott. Victims, just wrong place at the wrong time. Austin Dillon, nowhere to go. He was just trying to get back going after getting in the wall off turn 4, and before you know, he's already involved in the wreck. Austin Wayne Self and Almirola, you see the 98, he came and see for the smoke, ends up clobbering Ryan Reed. And once this all happened, see some of these cars jobbing away, like Michael Annette, for example, he has no hood damage, no damage, or maybe a little bit of damage, but nothing too severe. But once they get on the back straightaway, this is pretty bizarre. Kind of it's very strange. Look at all these cars running into each other. Joey Gase, Austin Dillon, J.J. Yaley, Michael Annette. Not quite sure what caused them to do that, because unless there's oil on the track and they just could not get, or at least, oil on the tires and they just could not get slowed down, or just really no sense in running over each other. But the fact that 4 or 5 cars all done it makes you think that there may have been oil on the tires and just could not get slowed down in time. You just saw the 36 of Alex Labay go behind the wall. His day is over. Eric Almirola, second crash of the day for the 98 team. That'll probably end his afternoon, and it does right there for Eric Almirola. All right, getting set to go back here in Daytona for the final stage of the afternoon. The final 18 laps of racing here in Daytona. It is time to go and make up spots and position yourselves to win this race. And right now, Austin Cindric and Joey Logano have done that, putting themselves first and second on this restart, winning both stage number 1 and stage number 2. We have a couple of new players up here, though, inside the top 5. How about the 41, Chase Briscoe, driving a 3rd car for Stewart Haas Racing. He'll move back into the 98 beginning next weekend at Las Vegas. alongside Zane Smith. Tyler Reddick now inside the top 5. Justin Allgaier, Kyle Benjamin, Cole Custer, Noe Gragson, and Christopher Bell, your top 10 here in stage number 3. And we'd like to point out that we lost a lot of cars after that crash in stage number 2. Eric Almirola, Alex LeBay, Ryan Reed, Justin Haley, Chastain, Gailey, Bencham, Williams, Annette, and Austin Dillon are all out of the race, leaving us with 25 cars left to battle it out here in the final 18 laps. And then it's still side by side between Logano and Cindric, Chase Briscoe and Zane Smith, the 2 pushers from behind. And how about the run by the 86 and Brandon Brown getting up here inside the top 10? Great run right now early on by the 86 of Brandon Brown. Behind him, the 19 of Brandon Jones, still looking for his first career win. Chris Cockrum having a nice run right now in the 25 with the 15 of Garrett Smithley. Blake Cook in the 01 down there in the bottom of the track with rookie contender Shane Lee. All 4 of the Johnny Davis cars are right there together. The 15, the 4, the 0, and the 01. All together right there outside the top 15. Chase Elliott, we saw him damaging that crash. Austin Wayne Self, Benny Miller, David Starr, Stephen Light, and Joey Gates. The remaining 25 cars on track as Logano has taken over the top spot from the outside lane, jumps back low to pick up his teammates. And his teammate may get put 3 wide if he's not careful. Look at the 41 of Briscoe peeking his nose out to the inside of the 12 car. And now Logano moves back up to the outside lane to pick up Zane Smith. We've seen it all day long. We saw it in a couple of races already throughout Speed Weeks. You know, we see guys who are on the inside lane get a nice run through the corners, but on the outside lane coming off the corners is so much more beneficial. You see that push Logano got from Zane Smith, almost able to clear the inside lane by just being on that outside line coming off the turns. And this is something I think we'll see tomorrow as well in the Daytona 500. The outside lane being more dominant coming off the corner, but getting into the corner, the inside lane will pick up some speed because that's a shorter way around the track. They're still side by side for the lead, and it's been all about Team Penske this afternoon. Joey Logano and Austin Cindric have combined the lead majority of the laps so far. Chase Briscoe and Zane Smith trying to figure out how to make a move to get themselves up front in the lead. And then you had Tyler Reddick and Justin Allgaier, the third guys in line. From the spectator view. Now, Joey Logano is only be running up to at least 7 races for Team Penske this year. Now you have Austin Cindric running full-time, the second entry, the number 12, but the 22 will be shared by a lot of guys. And they have Ryan Blaney, you have Brad Keselowski, you have Paul Menard and Ryan Blaney, but they expect to have some couple of new faces behind the wheel of that 22 car later this year, but no details have been confirmed yet at this point. As look at that 41 of Briscoe. He's got Sicker already behind that 12 of Cindric. He's going to put the 12 in the middle as Briscoe makes a charge on the inside, help from Tyler Reddick. And the big loser in that deal would be the 2 car Zane Smith. He gets shoveled to the outside lane, and with the exception of Cole Custer, there's really no help up there for the number 2 car to go anywhere but backwards at the moment. But now it's Briscoe in second, battling Austin Cindric, but Tyler Reddick's going to pull the same moves Briscoe pulled on Cindric. Now Cindric gets shoveled to that 3rd lane up top, and here comes the 21 of Tyler Reddick on the inside lane. Reddick won this race 1 year ago, and now here he is taking the charge on the inside of Logano, help from Kyle Benjamin. And what a great run Benjamin's having. His first super speedway start, first start at Daytona, qualified outside the top 15, but he has methodically worked his way up through inside the top 10 and now inside the top 5 as he's going to try to move up into second place here off turn number 4. We have Noah Gregson, another Rookie of the Year contender, taking over the driving duties of the number 1, replacing Elliott Sadler at Junior Motorsports. You have Ty Majeski in the middle. That's Cole Custer in the middle behind Brandon Jones. You have Austin Hill, another rookie contender in the 4. Garrett Smith leading the 15. If Cockrum and Elliott can hang with the pack and maybe Self, that'd be about 21 cars in the lead draft, but Miller and Starr, Gase and Light, have completely lost the draft as we're now 3 wide for the lead. And here comes some new faces going to the top of the board. Tyler Reddick and Cole Custer. The 2 guys who started on the, that's Kyle Benjamin on the inside. The 18 of Kyle Benjamin on the inside, help from Noah Gregson. Benjamin trying to get that lead away on the inside lane, but Majeski's giving that 21 a pretty good push. We've seen Ty Majeski have been really one of those guys who's been able to push the entire day. As we have a little bit of contact back here with Austin Hill and Zane Smith. Treading a little bit of paint here, coming off turn number 2. But Majeski got a nice run from Logano, and he almost cleared Benjamin for second. And we are coming down here now to 10 laps to go, and we have a lot of new guys up front that we've not seen all day long. Because really, we haven't seen anybody but Logano and Cindric first and second the entire day. But now we have Reddick, we have Benjamin, we have Majeski, we have Gregson. Here comes the 86 of Brandon Brown once again, showing that he belongs in this series on the inside of Brandon Jones. And there's Ryan Sieg, that 39 car, also making the charge on the inside, as well as Gregson trying to get second away. Look at Brandon Jones, a nice run in the middle by the 19 of Brandon Jones. He's going to get alongside both of those cars on the inside and outside. Coming up through the middle is the 19 of Brandon Jones. And that's Cole Custer pushing him from behind, as it will be 9 laps to go at Daytona for Tyler Reddick. Trying to pick up where he left off 1 year ago. Won this race in February of 2018. Went on to win the championship in Miami in November. A lot of momentum for Tyler Reddick right now, but he has a long way to go to pick up another win here in Daytona. That's Noah Gregson pushing him into 1 car. Brandon Brown continuing to move up through the field. Here comes the 86. Brandon Brown on the inside of Noah Gregson for second place, but Gregson shuts the door on him. Christopher Bell had a nice run on the middle lane. Brandon Jones thought about going down to block the 20 car, but Bell had just had too much momentum, couldn't pull the block on him, and now drops back in that 3rd lane with Cole Custer from behind. It is a 20-car lead pack at the front with 8 laps to go. Last night it was David Gilliland who picked up the win in the Gainer Outdoor Truck Series race, picking up his first career win. Will we see another first-time winner here this afternoon? Could it be Noah Gregson? He's in a great position right now to possibly do so. He's in second place. As you see, Austin Hill now making a move to the inside in the 4 car. It's like a pretty good, intense game of chess. You're just trying to figure out what line you have to be in at the correct time with the correct partner. You have to have help to go to victory lane here at Daytona, and you have to try to get yourself in the correct spot the best you can to make something happen. And we only have 7 laps to go now here in Daytona. It's Reddick, Gregson, Brown, Bell, and Majeski are top 5. This is no doubt the longest green flag run we've had all afternoon so far. The most we ran caution-free was 6 laps in stage 1 and stage number 2. In this race, we ran 11 laps. And we saw when a driver got the lead, drivers really had a hard time getting that lead away. You know, we saw Logano and Cindric, we keep talking about those 2 guys, so they were able to control the lead in the first couple of stages, being able to, drop down to the bottom lane through the corners by coming up top, coming out of the corners. we're seeing the same thing. It's just hard to get around that 21 of Tyler Reddick. Really hard to get a run formed. You get that 21 dropping back. You really have to make it 3 wide for the lead in order to get around the leader. And who will it be trying to make it 3 wide? Well, anybody trying to make it 3 wide up here at the front, it will be now 5 laps to go in Daytona. Tyler Reddick, Noah Gregson, Christopher Bell, now your top 3 at the line. Bell trying to get the outside lane to form, and here comes Gregson once again to the inside, but Majeski. Here's the problem, though. Tyler Reddick does not have Majeski's help right now. That could allow the one of Gregson to make something happen. But now you have the 86 and Brandon Brown making it 3 wide. That's going to hurt that's going to hurt the middle lane of Noah Gregson. And they're going to be 3 wide yet again. Brandon Brown, Noah Gregson, all going on behind the 21 of Tyler Reddick. We have no doubt seen a fantastic race here at Daytona. Coming down to 4 laps to go. And you saw Noah Gregson being able to drop down in front of Brandon Brown, giving Gregson still a chance at the win. But you see Majeski falling back. You see Christopher Bale falling back. Justin Allgaier in the 7 car falling back outside the top 10. We're coming 3 to go this time by. Remember, a race win for Tyler Reddick equals 5 playoff points for the playoffs. Not only they lock themselves a spot in the playoffs, but a win would give them 5 extra points that could lead Tyler Reddick to his 2nd championship. Noah Gregson also looking for those 5 points to get themselves in the playoffs. Essentially goes way wide in turn number 1. That was a bad move by the 12 of Austin Cindric, as here comes the 19 through the middle with Brandon Jones and Austin Hill. Brandon Jones, another guy who's never been in victory lane in his Xfinity Series career. And they're getting a little bit more aggressive with the side drafting, with the moves they're making. Here comes Logano back up through the middle. We saw the 22 drop back like a rock on the restart here in stage number 3, and here he is trying to work his way back up in the middle lane as we are now 2 laps to go at Daytona. Tyler Reddick, Noah Gregson, Brandon Brown, and Brandon Jones, your top 4 at the line. And now Gregson moves high to pick up the 19 of Brandon Jones. Is that going to be a good move here coming off turn number 2? And Tyler Reddick's going to have a hard time trying to decide which lane to block, because both lanes seem to have momentum carrying them down the back straightaway. Here's Cole Custer making it 3 wide on Kyle Benjamin. A little bit of contact with Ryan Sieg and Austin Hill. And there goes the 18 on the apron. Back up the track. He takes out the 39. The 4's in the wall. Caution flag is out yet again before we get to the white flag. And there's Ty Majeski spinning down the apron. The number 0, Shane Ledenball. Kyle Benjamin, the 18. Caution flag is out now for the 3rd time this afternoon, and there's the 4 of Austin Hill having a strong run inside the top 10. Taken out in this crash, there's Benjamin and Majeski. Ryan Sieg, the other guy involved. Chris Cockrum has a little bit of front end damage on the 25. And it appears the 4 of Austin Hill has already went behind the wall. So it appears Austin Hill's day is over here at Daytona. But we are under caution here once again, and that means we will go into overtime here at Daytona. Let's go back and get a replay of the crash here on with 2 laps to go. And all starts down here going in the tournament through the 18 of Kyle Benjamin. They see the 00 of Cole Custer making charge on the inside lane. Going down in the turn number 3, Custer gets alongside the corner panel, the 18. And so the 18 may have came down into the 00 a little bit. And just Benjamin had just too much speed, just could not come back up the track and avoid getting into everybody. And Austin Hill, Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric involved, Shane Lee. Pretty good damage on 39 of Ryan Sieg. A tough break for Ryan Sieg as well. He had a great run going. Ran out front all day long. Looks like he will be able to continue, but certainly probably won't get the finish he was hoping for, and really a finish he deserved. As we take one more look at the crash, full speed, which is really the whole close, really. Cole Custer had his nose there. Kyle Benjamin came down, just not enough real estate for both Custer and Benjamin, and so the 18 certainly gets the worst of it between those two drivers. But that really shakes up the lead, because at the line it was Tyler Reddick, Noah Gragson, Brandon Brown, and Brandon Jones, the four guys who got away, with Cole Custer and Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, Zane Smith, Garrett Smithley, and Chris Cockrum. That will be the top 10 on this next restart here from Daytona. All right, we are getting set for the restart here at Daytona. It will be 2 laps to go as we are now in overtime for the PowerShares QQQ 300. Before we go back green, let's take a look at the schedule for the upcoming races. We will head to Las Vegas Motor Speedway next weekend as we begin the West Coast Swing, race number 2 of the year. Then we will head to Auto Club Speedway and the ISM Raceway in 3 weeks, as we'll head from Daytona to the West Coast Swing following this weekend, as it is a brand new schedule for the NASCAR XFINITY Series. Will this be the final restart of the afternoon? Tyler Reddick and Noah Gragson in your front row, back underway here in Daytona. Your restart by the 21 of Tyler Reddick. The 86 of Brandon Brown spun his tires there on the restart. Will that allow Noah Gragson to drop in below? No, it allows the 19 to drop into second place. Great move by the 19 of Brandon Jones. Drops behind the 21 of Tyler Reddick. And now Noah Gragson and Christopher Bell teaming up on the outside of the 86 of Brandon Brown. Now Gragson and Bell will clear the 86 of Brandon Brown, as he just unable to get going here on the restart. Let me mention that Austin Hill was the only driver who retired from the race after the previous accident just a couple laps ago. As we were coming down the front straightaway, the white flag is out, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Tyler Reddick in the lead. Here comes the 19 of Brandon Jones. Look at the 1. Noah Gragson goes with the 19. Brandon Jones to the lead. Help and push from the number 1 of Noah Gragson. Does Gragson make it 3 wide from the lead down the back straightaway? And the 21 has no help from behind. Nobody to help the 21 of Tyler Reddick. And here comes the 20. Christopher Bell to the inside of Gragson. That's Brandon Jones' teammate in the 20 car. His 4th year in the NASCAR XFINITY Series. He's yet to go to victory lane, but coming out, turn number 4, it's all going to change this afternoon. The number 19, Brandon Jones, is going to hang on and pick up the victory in Daytona. Brandon Jones is finally a winner in the NASCAR XFINITY Series with Joe Gibbs Racing. It is a Joe Gibbs Racing 1-2 finish with Brandon Jones and Christopher Bell. What a finish here in this afternoon. Brandon Jones, we haven't talked about the 19 almost all day long. I don't think he got any stage points. And all of a sudden, he found himself 4th on the restart, able to drop in on the restart because of the 86 not getting up to speed. Took advantage of that and then made a move off turn number 4 to come into the white flag. And he just grabbed himself his first career win for Brandon Jones. And this win, first off, puts him in the playoffs for 2019. Also gives him 5 extra playoff points going into the playoffs here this year. So a great way to start off a new season for the NASCAR XFINITY Series with a brand new winner in the series with Jones. And then Noah Gragson gets third place. Great run by Noah Gragson, Joey Logano, and Tyler Reddick. Looked like Reddick was going to be the guy in command, but all of a sudden loses it. Will finish fifth. Cole Custer sixth, but still a great run by Brandon Brown and Garrett Smithley seventh and eighth. But that will wrap up the day here in Daytona as we take a look at your race results now. And we already went through the top 8. There's Zane Smith in 9th, Justin Allgaier in 10th place, Austin Cindric, and Blake Cook. The first 12. As we take a look further back, Chris Cockrum down to Shane Lee in 24th place. There's Chase Briscoe 14th, Ryan Seagans up 16th, Benny Miller 19th, and Shane Lee 24th. He was the last car who finished the race. As you see, 25th place on down, all crashed out, beginning with Austin Hill in 25th place. That will end the entire afternoon here for the NASCAR XFINITY Series from Daytona, and we will now shift gears for tomorrow, the Daytona 500, the 61st running of the Great American Race. Kevin Harvick and William Byron will start on the front row for that race tomorrow. That'll be at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time here on March 531. And let's take a look at the chase grid as well. Obviously, one race in very, very, very early to talk about points, but still, I'll show you the chase grid, and you see the one name in yellow, Brandon Jones, indicating that he is now in the 16 driver playoffs for 2019. So that will wrap up this afternoon from Daytona. We will see you next weekend at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR XFINITY Series. Until then, we will see you tomorrow for the 61st running of the Daytona 500.